Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle then. It's match preview night as Leicester City take on Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday night. And what a game this one's going to be then. First versus 23rd. A Leicester side who have eye on promotion to the Premier League take on a Wednesday side who have an eye on safety in the Championship. Guys, get involved. I'm going to be joined by James from Wednesday Till I Die podcast. He'll give me the lowdown on the Owls. Guys, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps out massively. And let's see who's in the chat then. Callum's in. How are you, Callum? We'll be doing week 32 and 33 this week, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. We'll be doing the match preview for Middlesbrough as well. Hi, Callum. Where's Jack? Jack's here, mate. Jack's here, ready to go. And let's get my guest in, James from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. James,
hi, Jack. How's it going? Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Nice to see you. Obviously, I didn't disgrace myself too much last time, so you've invited me back on. All good. Looking forward to it.
Give me the lowdown on the podcast, then, James. What do you do at the Wednesday Till I Die podcast?
Yeah, so chat about obviously all the goings on from the game beforehand. Record on a Sunday night, so straight after this, you can listen to it every Monday morning. A lot of whinging this season, of course. Not a lot of wins to celebrate, but yeah, open, honest chat about Sheffield Wednesday.
Yep. Let's get to know the opposition then. Let's get straight in there. Sheffield Wednesday, 23rd in the Championship. A big win over Birmingham on Friday night for the Owls, giving them a little bit more hope that they can get safety this season. They're 5 points now from safety. Talk to me about how Danny Rose changed things since the last time you played Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's come in and, before he came in, we'd not even won a game in the Championship. It was that bad. We're trying to forget about the Cisco Munoz era. It was, very short, so hopefully it doesn't take too long to forget it. But yeah, since he's come in, I think the main thing is he's just instilled some confidence in the side. Because we had none. You went 12, 13 games without winning a game. You're not going to be that full of confidence, are you, as a side, despite obviously everything that happened last season with the playoffs and the comebacks and everything. So yeah, he's instilled that confidence in the team because let's be honest. All right, I know we've had a January transfer window now, so we've had an opportunity to bring some new players in. But up until that point, it was the same players that that were there from the start of the season. So he's had to work with what he's got. All right, he's brought in Bailey Cadamarchi, who played in the return fixture, at Hillsborough earlier on this season already. He was someone that didn't feature under Cisco or anything like that. But like I said, everything else has been, he's had to work with the same tools as what the previous manager had. He likes to, he's very analytical in his approach. He likes to play out from the back. Yep. He likes to play football in the modern way. We like to press the opposition. He's very much a thinker. In terms of he'll look at the XG and he'll look at how in terms of the player's fitness and everything. Even though a player is by far the best player or had a good performance, if he's not quite up to it or we've got another game coming up on the Tuesday, he's not afraid to rotate. Which people say, never change a winning side. I mean, we haven't been winning that many games, to be honest, to be able to do that. But there's a certain section that, need to play a settled side, whereas we're making 3, 4, 5 changes every single week. But that's the way that he wants to do things. I think, we've come I'm sure we'll touch on some of the recent games and recent results and everything, but the 4-0 against Huddersfield, I think that really knocked him down a peg or two, really, in terms of a stark realisation of the job that we've got in hand, the task in hand, and how big the task is. But we've bounced back pretty well, and all in all, I think it could do no wrong for quite some time, Danny Röhl. There has been some chinks in his armour, I would say, playing players out of position that's not really worked, and he has come under a little bit of criticism. But all in all, I think I'm pretty happy with Danny Röhl, and I just fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can actually push on with him, and hopefully we survive this season.
Have Wednesday got a chance of staying up then, James? What do you reckon?
Well, yeah, they've always got a chance. I mean, there's still a lot of football left. What is it? I think it's 15 games of the season left to go. That's a lot of points, and the gap is only 5 for between us and safety. I know there's QPR in the way as well, who were just ahead of us, and there's the likes of Stoke and Birmingham, Millwall, etc., who could easily get dragged into the picture. So it's not all dead and buried. I mean, look, Huddersfield were beating Southampton 2-0 at half time yesterday, and there were points where I was thinking, we've beat Birmingham, but they're going to Southampton and beat them. That it could have been curtains. And I must admit, last week when we did get beat 4-0 by Huddersfield, I was there at their place. It was horrible. That was a massive 6-pointer, and at that point, I thought that was it. We're dead and buried. But I just mentioned to you before we came on air, there's that meme where it's like, I'm finished, and then it's like, no, it's back on again. Yeah, we're going to stay up, and then no, back around to you finished again. And that's what it's been like pretty much, week in, week out as a Sheffield Wednesday fan. It's the hope that kills you. You win a game, results go your way, and then you get that glimmer of hope again. I'm on the fence, to be honest. Part of me is like, if I accept that we're going to get relegated, when it happens, I've already kind of dealt with it in a way. But then there's other part of me that thinks, look, miracles do happen, and last season for us is, there's no better better thing to look back on to prove that that's right, that miracles do happen in football. And yeah, I looked at when we last played each other, we were 10 points adrift back in that was maybe 20 games ago, however many games it was now, and the gap is now 5. So look, stranger things have happened. We just need to get some wins on the board. Huddersfield have got a tricky run. Their next games are pretty tough. I think their next 4 games are against teams that are up in the top 6. We've got, other than Tuesday night, which, obviously we're talking about now, but other than that, we have got some fairly favourable fixtures, which, on a different day we could get a win. So you never know. I'm gonna really boring and sit on the fence and say we might do, but if I were betting man, I'm not putting my life savings on us staying up. Put it that way.
What about home form? How key has home form been under Danny Röhl then? Obviously, one more at home than you have away. How key is this going to be then in the second half of the season battle against obviously the likes of Huddersfield, QPR, Stoke's down there, aren't they, at the minute? They're battling to stay up. Birmingham City, another one who you played on Friday night. How key are these games coming up then in the home games that you think, Sheffield Wednesday could potentially do this?
Yeah, look, win your home games, and then the away form don't really matter. Especially when you're down near the bottom anyway. So I do think it is key. You said that the home form is better. It is all right, but it's still compared to the other teams in the league. I think we're still down in the bottom 3 in terms of certainly the home wins anyway. So far this season. So as much as it's been better, it's not that much difficult to be better than the away form, because that has been awful this season. I have to admit. But like I said, I think we get decent crowds down at Hillsborough despite being in the bottom 3. All season, it's over 20,000 every single week. For a team that's been out of the Premier League since 2000, I think it's still it's still a good number, especially when there's 2 teams in Sheffield as well. Let's not forget. So we're well backed. I know there's obviously a lot of problems off the pitch, which don't help proceedings, and some of the most expensive season tickets and match day tickets, etc. But we still turn up in as numbers. We still back the team and everything, and that's probably a reason why the home form is slightly better. I mean, the pitch is a disgrace at the moment, by the way. So I'm pretty glad that the next 2 games are away from home at the moment. But yeah, you, like I said, win your home games, and if we do that between now and the end of the season, safety will be pretty easy. So yeah, it is definitely key.
Yep. Right then, next game, Leicester Sheffield Wednesday. Talk to me about this game. We'll do team selection that later on and talk about last time out we met. How key of a game do you see rotation in this game? Some changes from the Friday night's game? Do you see him going strong? I mean, how do you see this game against Leicester?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's midweek, so 3 games in a week. All right, we had an extra day's rest because we did play on Friday night, but we've got Millwall on Saturday, which could argue is a bigger game than Tuesday in terms of Millwall are down there again. I know I spoke about dragging teams into it. We did that with Birmingham. Millwall could be another one. So on that side, you'd think rest a few players, and because there is a bigger game coming up. However, does that sometimes sends across the wrong message, and play your best side. We proved in the game at Hillsborough that it's not a foregone conclusion that Leicester are going to beat Sheffield Wednesday. All right, your form's been fantastic so far this season, and and chances are that probably would happen, that you will turn us over on Tuesday. But you've got to give yourself the best chance to do that. And the other thing as well is, when you say play a rotated side, as he alluded to earlier, we are making 4 and 5 changes pretty much every single week. So the players that are coming in that might have not started on Friday, they've not played at all. There's only probably a couple of players that haven't featured at all this season. All the others have probably made at least 10 or 12 appearances already, and started quite a few games as well. So those players that do come in, if they do, will still be match fit. It's not like we're going to be playing a reserve side, and I don't think Danny Real kind of knows what his best 11 is. It's easy to say that your best 11 is the team that's just won the game previously, but that quite easily things go wrong in the next game, and you suddenly change your opinion on that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they approach it. In my head, I've already put a Wednesday defeat on Tuesday. Again, very much like the way they approach, are we going to stay up or not? If you think you're going to get beat and we get a draw out of it, it's a fantastic result. Whereas if you think you're going to get beat and that happens, you've already come to terms with that already, and you don't get too disheartened by it. But no, I think we might make a few changes, but I think he'll try and go relatively strong, because we have to. We have to pick up points wherever we can, and there's no. Just because we rest players and play a strong side on Saturday, there's no God's given right that we're going to turn Millwall over. So, you've got to pick up your points where you can, really.
And how do you see Sheffield Wednesday approaching this one themselves? I mean, what, like, tactics-wise and all that? How does Danny Rowell approach the game against the league leaders?
Yeah, it's tricky because in the game against Birmingham, obviously Birmingham are down there. Quite a lot of people heard that saying that the defence was we gave up a lot of chances. I think Birmingham had over 20 shots. They only had 3 on target, so we limit them to shots from outside the box. But it almost felt like every time they came forward, they were just slicing through our midfield and getting crosses into the box fairly easily. But then on reflection, when I look back, if we were to put more men back and help out in those areas where they were given an overload, then you're only going to invite more attacks onto you. You clear the ball's just going to come straight back. We were being quite brave in leaving people up, leaving the likes of Gassama and Poveda, players that have got a bit of pace about them. They did come back on occasions, but quite often they would be the furthest men forward, and they offered an out when we did pick the ball up, and it was a bit like a game of ping pong at times. It backwards and forwards attack, both sides getting plenty of chances. Now, I don't think we can do that necessarily against the Leicester side, because you don't need that many chances to score. You're averaging 2 goals a game, so scoring's not very difficult for you boys, and you don't need, like I said, too many chances to put the ball in the back of the net. So I do think we do need to play a little bit more carefully, and perhaps not try and take it to you too much. But I feel like we'll probably just try and try and catch you on the counter. One of those where 0-0 at half time will probably be a decent first half for us. The longer we can keep it at 0-0, the more chance we've got of nicking it. We showed that in the other fixture, a goal really late on to get a point. Even if we go a goal down, I don't think we'll see any change in terms of, if we are sitting back a little bit, I don't think we're going to change things. 1-0, again, isn't a disaster, if it stays like that. What we've got to prevent is what happened last week against Huddersfield, and we went a goal down, and we ended up conceding 4 goals in 12 minutes, which is just a bit of a disaster, really. So I think, he's going to be more cautious about things, because the other thing as well is goal difference. Our goal difference is awful at the moment, and when you're down there, it's like an extra point. So when we're talking about being 5 points adrift, in reality we need 6, because it's no good getting them 5 points back, because the goal difference is going to is going to prove like an extra goal, like I said.
Who do you think will be like the key men for Sheffield Wednesday, though? Is Ugbo up there? Is it Paveda? Are they the sort of players you think, they're the ones who can really get at Leicester and cause us problems? And then you've obviously got the former Derby player, Jeff Hendrick, who in your ranks, who scored against Leicester last time round, who you could probably use in this game. You've got the experience of Barry Bannon in there. Are they the sort of players you look at for this sort of game?
Yeah, well, Jeff Hendrick, he's not been named in the 25-man squad, so I don't think we're going to be seeing him. The last time we saw him, we were playing paddle with Stormzy on an Instagram post, which was absolutely mental. And yeah, you know what? He only had one touch in that game at Hillsborough, and that one touch was obviously to put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't think he's touched the ball since, to be honest. We're not too bothered about Jeff Hendrick. He was a bit of a rush signing at the end of the summer transfer window, and I wish we'd not rushed, to be honest. But yeah, the other ones that you mentioned, Paveda, I think he's fantastic. Again, he was very much in the ilk of Hendrick, really, the last minute signing on deadline day. People thought that, again, it would be in the same vein as Hendrick, but he played 20 minutes in that 4-0 defeat against Huddersfield, which it looked bright, but, like I said, we got beat 4-0, so you can't really say too much. But then he was instrumental on Friday night against Birmingham. Head and shoulders the best player on the pitch, to be honest. He's got tricky feet. He knows what to do. He set up the first goal, pulled it back to the 6-yard box as he got to the byline for Ugbo to put the ball in the back of the net. And he's one that really excites me. And he was, playing we play a striker, and then we have three in behind, and he was playing as one of those three. And yeah, he can make things tick and make things happen. And that's something we've kind of lacked this season. The other one, you mentioned him, Ike Ugbo. Signed him on loan from French side Troyes. He was at Cardiff on loan for the first part of the season. Didn't really work out there. I think he got 3 goals in I think the opening 3 or 4 games of the season, to be honest. But then one of the goals was against us, by the way, for Cardiff. And then he was off the boil a little bit and didn't really do a great deal. So I don't think Cardiff fans were that bothered about him going. And since he's come to us, I think he's hit the post twice, maybe 3 times. In his first 2 or 3 games. He had chances in the Huddersfield game as well. And then, 2 goals against Birmingham. So I must admit, I didn't think he was we were crying out for a striker, and in my eyes, we didn't get one. I mean, I know he does play up there, but for me, I didn't think he was the man that was going to get us, 10 goals in these final, 15, 16 games. He's got 2 already, so maybe he's going to, prove me wrong. And that's something that we've been lacking this season, is goals. So we've got the lowest number of goals in the league. I think it's we don't even average 1 a game at the moment, which is really poor, and that is a problem and a reason why we're down there. So yeah, maybe Ugbo is going to be that person. And you mentioned him as well, Barry Bannon. We take Barry Bannon for granted here at Sheffield Wednesday. He was one of the best players when he came in 2015, and we're now 2024, and he's still arguably our best player as well, which it's a testament to him, but also I think it does show that as a club we've not really moved forward as perhaps as much as we wanted to. But he's still with us. He bleeds blue and white. Fantastic advocate for the club, obviously a fantastic captain as well, and he's one of those players that can pick out a pass that you don't think is possible. I think at times we've not really had enough quality to take advantage of the of the vision and the creativity that he's got. yeah, he's another one that, like I said, all of a sudden he can pick out a pass that splits the defense in two, and before you know it, you can create a goal from there. There's no he's got one of the highest number of key passes in I don't think it is this season, but certainly in the time it's been at Sheffield Wednesday, he's always the one that kind of orchestrates everything. So yeah, it should a couple of players to point out there for you.
Yeah, I think Leicester, we can't go into this game complacent. We've got to do our job, to be honest. This is a game at home where we've got to be on our game, to be honest. We've got to go and be clinical in front of goal, which is the main thing. We obviously have got the threat of Fatawu, the Mavridis, Patsandaka scoring goals. Will we see Jamie Vardy? Well, he's been featuring the last few games, so maybe he'll come off against and play against his boyhood club. Who knows? I'm sure he'll get a good reception from the Wednesday lot as well, who have sold out for this game. So no matter the circumstances at Sheffield Wednesday of what they are now, they've always got a good following when they go away from home, and that's the main thing. It's good to see that the fans are not really concerned about the old Chanziri moment. They'll still back their club no matter what, and that's at the heart of the club, that the fans make the football club what it is. But yeah, this one, I think we just got to go and battle, to be fair. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, do I see them coming out and giving it a go? I think they'll be cautious, to be fair. They'll want to try and keep Leicester out for as long as possible in this game. Leicester will obviously look to extend their winning run of what it is at the minute. So, yeah, it's a game where we've got to go and grab them 3 points because, at the minute we're on target for promotion back to the Premier League, which is a massive positive at this one. So, yeah, another win would help us towards that target. So, it's not going to be the easiest game. Sheffield Wednesday are not going to come over and roll over for Leicester just because we're league leaders. They'll probably will show us respect, but they don't want to show us too much respect. So I think they'll come out and give us a game on Tuesday night. And I think it'll be a good spectacle for the fans and obviously the neutrals as well who watch the game. What's your thoughts on Leicester, James, since the last time you played Leicester at Hillsborough?
Well, I think we gave you that bit of a kick up the arse, didn't we, to be honest? I think since we played each other, you've gone on you've lost just one game since we last played or something like that, especially, in the league anyway. Look, I must admit, when you scored the first goal at Hillsborough, I thought it was going to be a rout. I think it only took, 20-25 minutes to get that first goal. And I was there and I was just thinking, here we go. We couldn't even get to half time. It's probably going to be, 4, 5, how many goals it's going to be. But, I felt like in that game you were pretty wasteful. You had a lot of possession, but didn't really do a great deal with it. I think you had 3 shots on target in that whole game. So, it was no surprise that, that you only scored the one goal. But yeah, I think since then, I think you've been a lot more economical with the possession that you've had, and all right, you've still dominated possession, averaging over 60% for the season. I think there's only Southampton that have got a higher average possession, which it's testament to how Enzo's got you playing and the style of football that you want to play, almost like suffocating the other team, or playing them into submission in terms of passing the ball around and making it difficult for teams to get it off. But you've got to do something with the ball as well. There's no point in just passing it along the back four, which I think you did a lot of, if I'm being honest, in the game at Hillsborough. We would just let you do it, to be fair. You were no threat in where you were. But yeah, looking at your results since, it does look like now you've kind of putting teams to the sword. The 5-0 against Stoke is one that obviously stands out, where, you get the goal and you just go for the jugular, and you don't sit back and don't take it for granted. So yeah, look, you're at the top of the league for a reason. Absolute, runaway leaders at the moment. What's the gap? 10, 11 points, I think, to Leeds that are in third, which, it's a nice healthy cushion. I know you'd always want more, and I think if that gap gets to less than 10, some fans start to panic a little bit, but you've got to take a look at the bigger picture really there. That's, that's 3 or 4 defeats that you can have and still be at the top of the league and still comfortable. without even worrying at all. So no, I've been impressed with Leicester. Like I said, I weren't that impressed when they played us at Hillsborough, but what I've seen of you, when you've been on Sky and everything, I think it's been. And some of the goals that I've seen, especially like the second goal that he scored against Watford. I mean, we'll not talk about Watford's goal. We'll just gloss over that one. But
that's what Wednesday be hoping we'll do against them.
Mate, you can do a couple of. If you do a couple of them on Tuesday, we'll be delighted, to be honest. But no, the second goal that you scored, fantastic team goal. And to be honest, we try and do a bit of that as well. I just think the difference is we've not quite got the ability in the squad to pull that off as often as perhaps what you do. But no, I've been really impressed, and it's no surprise that the three teams that got relegated from the Premier League occupy the top three spots in the Championship.
I do believe, though, it would be the first time that the three teams have come down. If the three teams go straight back up, I believe that's the first time that's ever happened in the Championship to do so. So that's a record in itself for the history books, I think. I think that's the first ever time that would ever happen if Leeds, Leicester and Southampton went straight back up after being relegated from the Premier League the season before. So I think that's one for the history books. I've looked it up. This one's
one of them's got to obviously go down the playoffs, hasn't he? Only two can go automatic. So
they've got to go win the playoffs.
It's no God's given right that's going to happen. It's we proved in 2015-16 season, against Brighton, they just missed out on automatics, and we beat them, and we got to Wembley. I know they did the business the following season, but like I said, it's whoever finishes third. Sometimes it pans out that they're not the team that gets promoted because they're that gutted that they've missed out on the automatics.
Yeah, this one's about using Leicester's quality. We've got to be able to break Sheffield Wednesday down this time round. I think last time we played, I think we struggled with that. Sheffield Wednesday had a game plan of how to try and minimise Leicester's chances. And obviously he did have chances with Barry Bannon missing that absolute sitter in the first couple of minutes of the game. And I thought, what's going on here? Our defence has gone to sleep here. We can't be allowing you chances like that. We've just got to find a way to break you down. I think that's where your defence is going to be key in this game, and trying to defend Leicester for as long as possible. I think it'll be a good encounter. Let's have a look at the head-to-head stats. First versus 23rd, 31 games, 24-7, 3-5, 24. 4-19 defeats. Let's have a look at the Championship head-to-head at the KP then. 6 played, 3 wins, and 3 wins for you as well. We then look at the last time round, which is the 1-1 draw. How much of a positive did you take from that game? I mean, after you played us, obviously Hendrick scored that very late goal to ruin Leicester's chances of 3 points again, but how much positives did you take out of that game? Surely it was a very good performance by Sheffield Wednesday, which I think in a way, James, to be honest, it's helped Sheffield Wednesday really kick on.
Yeah, I mean, look, whenever you score a last-minute goal, to change the result, whether that's to win the game or to get a draw, it always feels, a lot bigger than what it was. I mean, it did feel like a win. I'll be honest. I know I alluded to earlier that when you went 1-0 up, I thought it was going to be a bit of a rout. And obviously that didn't happen. I think that was partly down to you. I mean, you've got to give us credit as well for keeping your arm's length. And it was a case of we'll let you get to the edge of our box, but you're not coming in. And we did. You had a lot of shots from outside the box, and if you're going to score from there, you have to hold your hands up and just say it's a fantastic finish. But we dug deep and it was pretty bleak, I think, at that point. We were bottom of the league, we were 10 points adrift. We were all expecting a bit of a battering, and then to score as late as what we actually did, and it did. It did kick us on a little bit, and we were walking away from Hillsborough, like I said, thinking that we've won all 3 points, because I don't think anyone really expected anything out of that game, and it just gave us a bit of belief that we can. I think I can't say we went toe to toe with you. I think that'd probably be a bit of a a lazy thing to say, to be honest, because you were by far the better side. But it just shows that there's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't have to really just take it to the side, and you can bide your time a little bit, frustrate you, and you never know what could happen. I think you're right. We did take a lot of positivity from that, and it did massively help us.
Yeah, I think it surprised us, to be honest. I think it surprised us quite a lot in the game. To be honest, though, you did give it a good go, which is credit to Sheffield Wednesday. They kept up with the energy levels of Leicester as well in the game. Some of the Leicester fans said it weren't probably our best performance in the game, to be honest. But then that's down to Sheffield Wednesday not allowing us to do what we did to other teams this season, where we just tired them out and did all that. But it's obviously, like I said, that big learning curve for Sheffield Wednesday. A point against the league leaders. And then, something you can take into other games, which obviously at home you've picked up quite a lot of points since you've played us. So I guess that's a big positive in a way. It's something Danny Roll would obviously, something he could have built on. He's seen what he could do in that Leicester game, what he could go and do in the other games. And I think that's what's worked for him and got him the points that they've rightfully deserved. Let's have a look at the last 5 games at the KP. 2-1 last time round 2014 in the Championship. 1-0 win for you lot. March 2013. 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday 2009. 3-1 win to Sheffield Wednesday 2008. I don't know if that's when you had bloody Tudguy in that, wasn't it? Tudguy and players like that in the team.
Yeah. Well, in the 2008 one.
It might be 2008 when you had them players.
Yeah, I mean the 4-1 is when we scored 3 absolute worldies. Chris Brunt, Whelan, and Tudguy scored, and I think Brunt scored a penalty as well. So
yeah, Brunt always liked to goal against Leicester. He did it for West Brom.
Yeah, I think you got a red card as well in that game, and it would just still to this day, some people say that was one of the some of the best goals we've ever scored. To score 3 of them in one game, it was unbelievable. I think Whelan says that he scored a worldie and then he came off thinking he scored the best goal of the season, and he didn't even score the best goal of the game.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday always used to have that decent Championship side, that very strong unit. It used to be a strong unit in the Championship many years ago. They had some great players who used to bloody score against us quite a lot, and it was always difficult to beat a side like Sheffield Wednesday at that point. You used to always be around the top 8 sort of team, and always made it difficult for sides. And when we used to play, it were always like, can we actually go and beat Sheffield Wednesday this time round? Yeah. But yeah, so we're one of them. But last time we played you, James, 2014, then Knockout and Moraes on the score sheet for Leicester. I forgot who won the score sheet for Sheffield Wednesday, to be honest. But that was the season 2013-14.
Michael Antonio.
That rate him. He used to score against us a lot. I know, bloody Michael Antonio. That's why I forgot his name. You don't remember players who score against you all the time, James. You just tend to forget about them.
No. And on that day as well, we had Martinez, obviously World Cup winner with Argentina. He was kept out of the net by no other than Chris Kirkland. So yeah, Martinez World Cup winner. Obviously, he'd not won the World Cup then, by the way, but he had to settle for the bench, and Chris Kirkland was in goal that day.
Talking about footy both camps, we'll get on to it. Talk to me about Richie Cresswell.
He went to play for Sheffield United, so can we skip that one, please? Yeah, no, it was all right, Cresswell, but yeah, he went to play for them. So anyone that goes from us to them and does well, I think did he score for United against us? I think he might have. I might be making that up, but no, he was. No, I don't think he pulled trees up. It was okay, but like I said, went to play for them down the road. So less said about that, the better.
Gary Megson.
Do you know what? Obviously, before my time in terms of his playing days at Sheffield Wednesday, but I can remember him as manager.
Oh,
if you want passion, then he had that in absolute abundance. I think sometimes, as a fan, I think you love it. I think you love it when when they're beating the chest and kissing the badge and everything like that, running up and down the touchline. As a fan, it's what you want to see. I think in some cases, I think it's a bit of it's not a good trait for a manager in making the right decision. You need to make decisions with your head and not your heart sometimes. And I think that really, that's kind of something I'd say about Gary Megson. Made a few dodgy decisions. There was one actually, and obviously I know Leicester have not played in this competition for quite some time, but what's now called, is it the Bristol Street Motors Trophy? What was the Pizza Cup and whatever else when you're down in League One?
The Johnston's Pace Trophy.
That's what LDV vans, whatever else you want to call it. Auto windscreens trophy, that one, the one that the kids now playing. But yeah, I think one of the reasons why they brought in the rule that you've got to play so many, so many players that you can't just play the kids basically. We played Bradford, and there was that rule that so many had to start. We put a strong side out, literally kicked off, the ball went out of play. We made 3 subs straight away. sub 3 of them off and brought the young lads on just so we could get around that rule that you had to play so many. So I suppose you want to thank Gary Megson for ruining that rule.
Yeah, let's just say he had his best time at Leicester. Bloody draw. He were a draw merchant, he was, as Leicester's manager, Gary Megson, a draw merchant. Every game would be a draw. He said he won't be at Leicester long. I think he ended up with Bolton or somewhere like that.
Well, his last game in charge was actually beating Sheffield United at Hillsborough, so he got sacked after that. But yeah, it was a good send-off.
Yeah, he weren't here for long. He said in his press conference, I'll probably be here for a few weeks, and that rear off. I thought, what the hell? Thanks for your time here, mate. What the hell? Nigel Pearson, I mean, surely he's a favourable character at Hillsborough. What a player he was for you, look.
Yeah, again, a bit before my time, but every time we sack a manager, his name always gets thrown up. I think for exactly the same reasons we've just spoke about with Gary Megson. He's a fan favourite, someone a Wednesday fan and everything, and I'm sure he'll put 110% in. But it's not happened. I don't think it will ever happen. I don't think he'll ever manage Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, like I said, a bit before my time in terms if you want any insight in how he was. My earliest memory of Wednesdays when we got relegated out of the Prem. So I can't even say that I've seen the likes of Chris Waddle or John Sheridan or David Hurst or anyone like that. So I certainly don't follow Sheffield Wednesday for the glory years anyway.
Yeah, what a character Nigel Pearson is. We've seen him in his time at Leicester as manager. Not the greatest with the media, but I think we can swiftly move on with that one. He's had a few things to say about the old ostrich gate and them having their head in the sand and this, that, and the other. And Pearson, great defender in his time. They're both for Middlesbrough, Sheffield Wednesday. I believe in one of the stories I've heard that he did break his leg or something at one point of his career in one game and he wanted to carry on playing. I think that's the sort of player he was, isn't it? Nothing would take him down. The man would play on.
Yeah, I think that was because we got to 2 finals in '93, both incidentally, the FA Cup final and the League Cup final, both against Arsenal, and we lost both of them as well. So I think when you get to any sort of final, the players are just desperate to play in it, aren't they? But I mean, breaking your leg, they said that, don't they? Break a leg and everything, but he went and did that literally.
The guy's a bloody character. A great chat outside of football, Nigel Pearson. Spoke to him a few times and, tell you all these stories about his career and all that, he'd listen and, the man's strict though, innit, when it comes to football business, do you know what I mean? You won't dare want to go toe to toe with him, that's for sure, as a player, because, he'd always tell you, if you back chat him or anything like that, he'd always have something to say back and he's not one of them you want to cross, to be honest.
No, definitely not.
Let's have a look at the next one. Alex Bruce. Obviously, I think he played for us on loan. We got him on loan from Ipswich. I think you had him on loan as well, didn't you, Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, we did. I think we had him in our season where we got promoted out of League One when before the Wembley days, when it was at Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. I don't think he played in that final, but he only played a few games. We had him on loan. I wanted to say Hull, but I've just checked it with Birmingham that we had him on loan for. Obviously, his dad managed us as well briefly. Steve Bruce, which. Yeah, again, I know we didn't talk much about Richard Creswell, but a lot of people said that his dad's a bit of a snake. He left us to go to Newcastle when we'd kind of bent over backwards to get him to Sheffield Wednesday. And who knows? If Steve Bruce could have stayed on as Sheffield Wednesday manager, who knows where we would have been? Because we was all right under him, to be honest. But like I said, Alex Bruce, I think he only played six or seven games for us. So that was quite some time ago now.
Joe Mattock.
Yeah, fantastic player, Joe Mattock. You know what? He's one of those that always gives 110% whenever he plays. He is another one that has actually played for Sheffield United. Although he played for Sheffield United before he played for us, so you find that a lot of players have Rotherham, Barnsley, Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United.
They all play for the Yorkshire clubs when they all go around in the circle.
They all stick around, and I think people forget that footballers are still people at the end of the day. And, it's all right saying, we'll move to Scotland or move down south to Brighton or wherever it may be. But, you've got to up sticks and move and everything. And like I said, people forget that all that happens as well. So if you can stay where you are, it's a lot better. But no, he played, I think he notched up over 50 games for Wednesday. And, I think it was just a solid left back. Left back is a position that sometimes you struggle to fill. But I don't think he was ever a 10 out of 10. But he certainly gave you a solid 7 or 8 most games, to be honest.
Yeah. Team selection. I mean, how do Wednesday line up for this one then? And who do you put in?
Do you know what? I'd be happy just to stick with the same side that played against Birmingham on Friday, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think when you look, I think Ugbo has to start, to be honest. He's got 2 goals, so we're struggling for goals so far this season. I mean,
happy birthday Tuesday, mate.
In terms of from back to front, we brought in Beadle from Brighton. He was on loan at Oxford. Brought him on loan. Our other keeper, Cameron Dawson, who was in goal for the other fixture, he's 1 out of favour, but 2, he has picked up a little injury, so I think it'll be Beadle in goal. The back 4 that we played against Birmingham was Paul Valentin, Deshaun Bernard, Akin Famewo, and Marvin Johnson. Marvin Johnson were missing against Huddersfield. We missed him sorely, to be fair. He's come back in and he got an assist again on Friday, so I'd like to see him play again. One change I would make from Friday, Momo Diaby. I thought he was a bit like Yaya Toure when he first signed. He got a bad injury and it kept him out until January. And he came back in and he just looked effortless when he were playing. In the last couple of games, he's looked awful. Like really, really just terrible. Like his passing's poor. He's not as quick as what I first thought. So I'd be putting Will Volks in that kind of holding midfield role alongside Barry Bannon. The front 3 behind the striker, it'd have to be, Jedi Gassama. He's quick. I don't think he played against you in the game at Hillsborough, but he's one that really gets you excited. He's only 19 years old. He signed him from Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer in the summer. The other one, Paveda, we've already talked about him. I'd like to see him in that 10 role, just behind the striker. He can certainly pull all the strings. Ugbo, he played out wide right on Friday. Like I said, he got 2 goals, so definitely like to see him. And the other one, Bailey Cadamartre, again, he's another young player, 19 years old. He's scored 4 goals in all competitions this season. I don't think he started until 12 or 13 games into the season, so he missed a large chunk just by virtue of not being picked as he'd not even made a senior appearance up until that point. So it'll be like a 4-2-3-1 seems to be the formation of choice at the moment, and it certainly seems to be. Well, won't say it seems to be working, but we certainly seem to be look the more threatening by playing that.
Yeah, Leicester. I don't know. Do I see him making changes for Watford? I think he'll make one or two, probably, maybe for up to three. When we play 3 games a week, he always likes to make changes. I think he made changes when we last played you last time. Connor Cody played at the back last time, and I think he'll go with Connor Cody again. I think Ricardo will start with Callum Doyle and Wout Fass. I think Wout Fass came off against you last time. I believe he had a dead leg. I'm going to go with Harry Winks, Dewsbury Hall, and I'll tell you what, I think he might go with Yunus Atgun, Fatwa and Mavadidi, and striker, does he start Patson Daka, or does he go with Jamie Vardy? He might go with Tom Cannon, actually. It's 3 to choose from, so I'll tell you what, I'll go with Tom Cannon this game. I might be wrong. Might start with Jamie Vardy, you know. So we'll go with that one. We'll go with Tom Cannon. Last one then is the score prediction. What's your head and heart for this one, James?
My head's saying we'll get battered. To be honest, it could be a 3 or a 4-0 fairly comfortably, and that's not that's not us playing poorly or anything like that. I'll just be virtue of the fact that you're just far better than what we are this season. My heart is saying that we could potentially get it, keep it at 0-0 at half time. The Leicester faithful might get on your backs, and the atmosphere could change. And we showed in the other fixture that it's not a foregone conclusion that Leicester are gonna just beat us. So my heart is saying that we could. I've got to say Wednesday win. I can't come on and say that we're not even going to win, even with my heart. So we might nick a 1-0 win.
You take 1-0.
I'll take 1-1. To be fair, I'll take a 0-0. To be perfectly honest, but
you take
but no, yeah, exactly.
Where do I sit with this one? The thing is, Sheffield Wednesday are going to try and make it difficult for us. So we've got to be better than what we was last time round when we played you in it. We've got to be more able to break you down a lot more better. And, we've got to, like I say, be clinical. We have enough quality to win the game, sure. We've come a long way since we last played you. We look like a side who's getting more goals than that each week and that. So I'm going to go for a... Do I go 3 or 4? Ooh, I'll tell you, I'll go 3-0. I'll go 3-0 Leicester. I'll go with 3-0 to us. James, thanks for coming on, Matt. Pal, do appreciate it. Good luck for the rest of the season after Tuesday. Before I let you go, plug your channel and your podcast for me.
Yeah, so just search for the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. I said every Monday morning we've got episodes on YouTube and also on all the podcasting platforms as well. So we go live on a Wednesday night, the day after you can jump on and and have a chat with us and talk about how the game went from your perspective, I guess.
Yep. Cheers, James. Thanks for coming on, pal.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. That was James from the Wednesday Till I Die podcast. Great to get opposition fans on and chat about football and that. And guys, if you've enjoyed the stream, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're on playback and you're watching this back, then get your views in the comments. Let me know what you think to the game, score prediction wise, and all that. What's coming up on the final whistle then? So Monday night, which is tomorrow, we're going to have the Championship predictions for week 32. So join us for that. We're gonna do that one. We're gonna either have Football Martin on potentially for that as well. So he'll be joining me for that one. Match day vlog will be out Wednesday morning. We will be doing some content at the game on Tuesday. So, keep your eyes peeled for the match day vlog. Fingers crossed, 3 points to Leicester. We'll have the Championship predictions, week 33 as well, after in the back end of the week. We'll also have the match preview for Middlesbrough as Leicester take on Borough after the Wednesday game. So, yeah, a lot to look forward to. See you on the predictions show. Yes. Mayans going 3-0. Take care, Jack. Yes. Thanks for watching. Keep hitting the final whistle. And come on, the Foxes. Good night, everyone. Hi all, thank you for watching the final whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share and subscribe to the channel.